Now it's live on YouTube.
Well, there we go. Now we're live. Might as well at this point, right?
Right, we're already into it. Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll see what shakes out. I mean, hopefully they can withstand the brunt of the 10 week season. But I mean, I'm really excited just to literally watch the film, no matter what the angle, the social media stuff comes out, but just to see what's happening on the field and where they're at this point at the last day.
There was a lot of content that came out from the last scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like we said a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about more of what you love. I'm still hungry for it. They've been giving us a little bit more, but I'm still hungry for it, man. I'm just ready for the season to be here and get into it.
Me too, man. Speaking of that, they had this we saw. So courtesy of the Panthers social media team, but I mean, we were seeing some good stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Here, and what was that one? I think that one was prior to I'm already on there.
You know what I think is going to happen?
What? This guy right here.
Danny Etling is going to be the starting QB.
You think so?
Like, look at all the different socials and stuff like that, dude.
I mean, I have noticed. I'm not going to lie and say that I haven't noticed that.
I see more of Bryce Perkins doing his own thing on Instagram with Sip Tail, which is his drink. I think it's an alcoholic beverage. So, like, I don't know. I haven't seen much stuff about Bryce, but I've seen a lot of action on Danny.
He's there. He's in the social. But do you think that maybe is a ploy?
It could be.
Maybe we're playing chess, not checkers, man.
Yeah, just letting everybody see a little bit of film on our backup.
Yeah. But no, I think that Coach Nolan hasn't alluded to either way. He's been pretty steadfast on saying that he is letting the competitions play out. And I mean, we're seeing it all over. They just brought in another kicker. Yep. So they brought him in to bring more
punters.
Exactly. So I mean, they're not, as we've talked about plenty of times before, they're not afraid to do that. They're not afraid to make them compete. So I mean, I think we're both in the same boat at this point. That we think that Bryce can win it out, but we're gonna have to see.
Oh yeah, for sure. It might be something like the Birmingham situation for the first couple of weeks, like last year, where they were rotating between Adrian Martinez and Matt Corral.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of teams did that last year too, and it seemed to like work out for them in the beginning of the season until they kind of found out that, hey, we're going to rock with Adrian Martinez until they didn't bring Matt Corral back in until they faced us the second time at Ford Field. Or no, it wasn't at Ford Field, but the second time of the season.
Well, I mean, they had a steady rotation, I guess. So, I mean, I don't see a reason why we can't, especially when they're both relatively the same prototype. When you think of, they're leaning the same direction. Obviously, we've said it. I mean, how many times that Bryce Perkins is more athletic, but right. Yeah, I mean, when we go Rocky Lombardi versus them two, I mean, they're in the same category.
Exactly. But there's just been a lot of things happening, man. Behind the scenes here with us and what we got planned on going on. Like you were saying before, we got 25 days till our group event. That is the third game of the season, second home game for the Panthers. April 13th, Ford Field, noon, against the San Antonio Brahmas.
6 days after my birthday.
6 days after Jesse's birthday.
Ooh, so 9 days till the kickoff to the league. And we got, what's the count till our game? So that's
11.
11th. There we go.
11
25
days till our game with the Showboats.
There we go. 25 till this group event, which we gotta really try getting more people in here, man. I mean, you got your 5. I bought 4 today. So what I'm really wanting is to get to that 150 so we can give these other tickets away.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you. And I don't know, maybe I know we're talking about tailgating that day. If I have any tickets left over that day and I hear somebody stop by the tailgate and they're really interested, they might just get some free tickets to the game.
Yeah, we both got some spare tickets, so we'll see what happens. See how generous we're feeling.
Yeah, in my mind, I already spent the money on them. So what's it gonna hurt if I? So let me backtrack a little bit. We talked about this a little bit with Mike on the show. He gave me my first set of Panthers tickets.
Right.
So look at what that did. And how big of a fan I am and how much I'm pushing for the league. Who knows if we, just keep pay it forward, man.
Yes, sir. Pay it forward. I mean, like you said, it worked out for you. Who knows what we could spark with a pair of tickets. So
exactly. I mean,
well, speaking of my Panther pride.
Yeah, speaking of, we got our hats in. Jesse did some upgrades to his hat.
Yep. Thanks to this little dry erase marker. Yeah, it was a little dull, but I think it's looking good now.
Yep.
Got the shirt. The hoodie finally came. Well, not hoodie. Sweater. And this bad boy actually works.
Yep. QR code takes you right here. Come see us anytime you want.
Embroidered on the sleeve. I think that's a nice touch right there.
Oh, it's embroidered?
Yeah, it's not even a sticker. It's literally embroidered. That's why I wasn't sure if it was going to work when I scanned it, but prove it right now.
Nice.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Nothing. Bang.
Yep.
See the scan there.
Yep, the QR code.
Oh, you saw it. You saw it.
As soon as you touched it, it went away.
I know, man. I might have pressed the X button. I have a tendency to do that.
It happens.
Clumsy things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I want to get to our event, so we got to get more butts in those group event seats that we got.
Yeah. The link will be in the description after I post the video because I accidentally went live. So
yeah. Yeah, there's some housekeeping to do on this one for sure.
Yeah. But for sure, guys, get your tickets. Come hang out with us. It's going to be a great time. We don't need to sell 25 tickets like Jesse said. He bought 4 today. I already have 5. That's 9. So what? That's 16 left. I got a couple people from work that are pretty interested. So, I know we're in March and April, April seems like it's so far away, but it's only a couple of weeks, guys, 25 days. So lock in your tickets, come hang out with us. And if we get those 25 people, we get an exclusive game day experience. Anything from being in the tunnel for high fives before the game to possibly getting pictures and autographs after the game.
Something worth it. And we can always expand the group as well.
Yeah, so if we sell the 25 tickets, I can call my ticket guy and ask him to open up some more. So whatever you guys need, get a hold of Jesse or I on any kind of social media. If you reach out to the My Panther Pride accounts, it'll be me that's answering you. So anything you guys need, don't hesitate. We'll help you out any way we can.
Yes, sir. That's what we're here for. If we can do more, we definitely will.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's going to cost you a subscription.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
I know that's a lot to ask, and it's $3.90 free. So, please, guys, get this out to some more Panther fans.
Yeah. Well, I know you wanted to go over that interview that James Larson did. Shout out to James.
Yeah, let me see if I can get it up.
With Coach Nolan. I know I went over it. There were some good snippets. Obviously, we don't get the full conversation, but from what I heard, it's steadfast Coach Nolan, man.
Hold on. Here's the article. But Coach Nolan was in Michigan over the weekend to do some media rounds. I don't know if you guys have seen this picture on social media, but he's pretty much, to sum it up, is he's saying the NFL knows who can run and jump and do all these amazing things, but they want to see film, and they want to see recent film. And that's really where the UFL is excelled and helped these players out to get to that next level. Like it says right here, they discussed through last year's rough ending and the quarterback battle in camp in the off season, so far this year.
Like we said, still developing. I mean, this is when did he do this interview?
Sunday.
Yeah. So I mean, we're not far from this. So he's preaching the same thing, man. We don't know who's coming out of that battle.
So right here, James Larson asks him about the quarterback battle, Etling and Perkins. He said, well, they both run similar attacks. We don't have to change much between quarterbacks when we have to go from one to another. This was evident last year when we had to make changes in the game. Currently, right now, it's very close, and it's what we expected. But he doesn't have a problem with it. Surprisingly, instead of becoming separate from one another in a competition, they become very close friends. I think we're good at that position. We've got Rocky in the third spot. He's done a very good job. Rocky's in a good spot because he's got two veterans he can learn from. I think we'll know about that from week to week. But today, who the starter is going to be, we'll have to figure it out when cuts are made. But I'm comfortable where we are at. So he's pretty much saying, like, we're not worried about the QB room.
It sounds like he's not. To me, what I keep hearing, I mean, a lot of people are going to keep pressing, obviously, but it sounds like he is very, at least right now, against putting, maybe not just putting a label on it, but I feel like he doesn't feel the need to have to push towards that. Like, hey, this is our guy. Like right now, it sounds like their relationship's good. It's not like you're going to spoil it by giving either one, taking one off for the other. So I think riding with a hot hand might be, although little against the grain, but rolling with a hot hand at quarterback, maybe that's the way he's leaning.
Right. And I think we've already talked about this. I don't know if it was before the show or not, but they could rotate. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It could be a couple of weeks of rotation, just trying to figure out who's better for the package. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Not who has a better package.
100%.
That's not the competition.
That's not the competition. But as we were saying, today was the last day of camp. We had a scrimmage against the Defenders, and tomorrow's cut day.
I know. We were really I mean, maybe that's what happened with this whole live recording thing. We were really
beside ourselves, because like if we would have put this out on Friday, it's after cuts.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah,
we're talking about old news at that point.
Yeah, do we hold it off, or do we go live and just try to talk about our things now and then split it up? And I guess now we're doing a little bit of both of those. But yeah, I think what do we have? We're still at 61, 63 now. So we're even more. 13 men's lives are about to change for, in their eyes, the worst, but you never know. Silver linings and all, but
right. And I'm going to reiterate something that Ducky said on ATU. Do not give these players a hard time.
Oh yeah.
They uprooted their whole lives for a whole month for a chance to stay gone for another 3 months to make something of themselves, to try to give themselves another opportunity. So like, this isn't easy for everyone. It's they got to pick up their whole lives, and they still have all the responsibilities of home. It's not like everything just goes on pause.
I mean,
just to entertain us.
Yeah, and you don't know. Maybe that is the case. Maybe they have something going, and they, maybe they haven't have an established family, and maybe it is just them. Maybe they are literally picking everything up, and this is what they have right now.
Mm-hmm. So don't give these guys a hard time. They work all year long to give themselves this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I seen somebody, don't quote me on this, but only like the top 0.5% of athletes make it to the NFL. To the UFL, it's the top 1%.
I mean, that's
I don't know if that's but there's a lot of athletes out there at the collegiate level. There's so many different colleges that are in, in football and everything like that. So
JUCOs, different, just programs that are established with, just aligned with schools too, so.
Right. So
yeah, it's a large pool that they have, risen to the top, and these are again professional athletes out there. So
yeah, 50 players for 8 teams. That's 400 guys.
So for the Panthers, what do you think that means? So we got obviously the punter, kicker, so let's take that down 61, let's say. Right, so Chris Blewett, who we brought in, he's been around. He had some stints where he blew it.
He blew his opportunity with Birmingham.
That's that poor guy. I as soon as I said it, I was like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, and for a kicker too. Yeah. Like that's a heck of a last name for sure. But yeah, I don't know much about either one of those guys. Same with the punters. I don't know too much about those guys, but we only need 1 and 1.
Right.
So
I mean, this punter, Seth Vernon, he was in the NFL from 22 to 24. So he was with Atlanta, Minnesota, and Tampa Bay. And then before we just picked him up.
So how do you feel about, like, this is going to be a little bit of a tangent, but how do you feel about late camp signings? Do you feel like it's a super big gamble because you don't get to see so much of them because they come so late in camp and we already have such a short training camp period? Or do you think that they're almost like a shoo-in because they come with less than a week left of camp? Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's see, the way I see it, and I'm not in that, would love to be in that situation making those decisions, but it's a double-edged sword, really, or it's two sides of the coin, I should say. So one, you're trying to get these guys out there. And like we just talked about, a lot of these people, they're normal guys who are keeping in shape and, trying to keep their dream alive. So you have trying to get them out there logistically and trying to get everything situated at home. And so you can be out there in the event that you are, you end up on a team and going into the playoffs. Now you're, 13, 14 weeks deep. So I think it could be that could be the issue, getting these people there. Maybe, hey, I can't do it right now, but maybe later. And then they're like, hey, if we have a spot, maybe, and they have to have these guys, with all like we were just talking about, the 1% of athletes, just having 2% access to the 2%. Imagine trying to filter through that. Yeah. So I think that getting them there, and then once they get to camp and they're like, and then one, maybe head coach here says, hey man, I had this guy, come look at this film. He could maybe bring something, just a little more competition to this room, since that's what we're bred on, clearly.
Right. So
maybe, and then he's at home waiting, like, oh, he said maybe, I know it's a long shot, and then he gets a call, like, I'm going to go to camp and I'm going to show them that I should have been here the whole time.
Right.
So I think there is that, but I do see what you're saying about not really getting the evaluation of them, whether it be, okay, these guys are a shoe-in, or now we just have a smaller sample size and it's more of a gamble. So I think, it really just depends on what kind of coach you are, and possibly even the relationship you have with this player, how far you go back, and how much you're willing to vouch for him as a, somebody bringing him onto the team.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I have in the interview with Christian Runza on ATU,
mm-hmm.
he was given GM Steve Kazor a lot of props.
He was.
He's like our Brad Holmes.
Let him cook. Let Steve
cook. Let Steve cook. But yeah, I mean, and you can really tell he had a lot to do with keeping, I can't put a percentage on how much of the roster is coming back, but we definitely have the lowest turnover rate than the rest of the league, for sure.
Definitely. I should really get a percentage on this.
Right.
Because you can't. I mean, once we get an established roster, I will give you an exact percent of who we kept.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's an easy calculation. Obviously, I'm not trying to brag, but I'm very curious to see.
Yeah, versus other teams,
mm-hmm.
for sure. I mean, and he even said, like we kind of speculated on, that halfway through week 1 of camp, they were in the second, third stages of the playbook because everybody's already pretty much knows the vocabulary. Because every team and every coach has a different, they call it inside zones, something different than this package, and you know what I'm saying. Everybody has their own terminology.
Exactly. You know what I really loved about that conversation, that specific one you're talking about. Sorry to jump in, but the way he worded it, he's like, we in this sport that we love, we just decided that we're going to use 100 different languages to say the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my dude, that is exactly. Because I mean, one playbook, you can look at a play, two playbooks from whenever you played, and same exact play.
Yeah, and I'll call it something different than what you would call it.
Yeah, even
because I had different coaches.
Yeah, even like a dive, like a gap dive. Some people are going, I'm shooting a gap, I'm shooting one. It depends how you were brought up and where is the last place you played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that, because our gaps, if on the strong side was the right side, strong side was the even numbered gaps, weak side was the odd numbered gaps. So if it was like a 240 inside zone, the running back was coming off the hip of the guard, between the guard and the tackle.
Yeah. See, a lot of mine, it switched one time, but at one point it would bounce from right, because you start right as strong, just like you. So it'd be A, B, C, D, E, F, which was really, really weird, especially when you're throwing that into a play call. It just sounds awkward.
Yeah. Yep. And then like what was it? Like if they called it like Frisco, that was because there was a R in Frisco, it was right side strong play. You know what I'm saying? It was just all kinds of crazy stuff. Like it almost started making me think of baseball coaches whenever they're doing like signals and tapping their shoulders and everything.
Yeah.
All of it's BS besides for like two things.
Yeah, it's all nothing until you get the. Well, some of them, I had this coach, he would do that. I played in this wood bat league in Port Huron, County Mac, actually. But he would like have his fake signs, but then he'd had like a sign like, all right, now it's going to be the real sign.
Right.
And then he'd do the real sign.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't just like, boom, the real sign, because you're like, oh, was that it? It'd be like, all right, boom, this is it. And then
there was like a tell sign that means, hey, start listening now.
It's coming. There's the sign.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just all confusion.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I don't really got much more, man.
No, besides for, get in on the group event. if you guys want to get some merch, I'm not going to say you have to. We're working hard on it. We like it. I mean, it's our brand, of course.
We're not even making money on it, but
yeah, we're not
trying to get it out there at this point.
Exactly. We want to spread the good word of the Michigan Panthers. That's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on a few other things. Like we said, we're working on the tailgate. We're definitely going to have one tailgate this season, and that's going to be for the Brahmas game. Mm-hmm. We'd love to see you guys out there. We've said it before, Bulls on tour. They're going to swing by the tailgate beforehand. We're going to hang out with those guys. They're going to get super rowdy on the other side of the field. We already know it. SAJ already gave us a warning.
Yep.
He's going to be calling us out the whole game, pointing us out, pointing at his jersey.
Yep.
So
I am excited to see how excited and scared, I will say.
I hear these guys get rowdy, boy.
Exactly. And that's what Mike was saying when he was on. He's like, yeah, dude, they're loud. So hopefully, like I said, we can join the groups and
that is something else that is just so awesome about this league that I've noticed. Like in the NFL, you have super fans and they literally like hate anybody else out there. Any other team, they hate them out there. This is such a good group of people. Anybody that I've talked to that's a super fan, it's first we're pushing our team, then we're pushing the league because we want this to stay. We love this, and this is what we're about.
Yeah, and like I was talking to Rig Rocker about, they're all so receptive. So it's like as soon as they're like, oh, you're doing the same thing as me. You're trying to help make sure this keeps happening. Awesome. Yep, we're cool.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Cool. I don't care what team you're rooting for, what game's going on. Like there's no Philadelphia Eagles fans. There's no
right. And dude, that is so impressive that him and the Predator couple, 12,000 miles of traveling. They went to all 10 Houston games. That is crazy.
Just trying to figure the logistics to make sure I make all home games is not
exactly. With the kids and other things that we got going on, you're working with Detroit Pal and trying to get in there full time.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's crazy. Like for you and I just to link up in general, and we don't live that a half hour away from each other.
I know, dude. You literally were like, hey, I'm getting on if you want to hop on and get ready. And I was literally at Menards buying a grill. I'm like, oh my God. I
completely forgot.
Yeah, man. I'm like, dude, I don't even have an excuse. I forgot. I lost track of time. I'm on my way.
Yeah, it just happens like that sometimes, man. It's life.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we're so go with the flow.
Yeah. We don't have anybody pushing us saying that, oh, your shows have to be out at this time. No, we run this. This is us. And if we mess up, sorry, guys. Sometimes you got to call an audible like tonight and go live. Just because like we were talking about earlier, the stuff we were talking about today on Friday, it would have been pretty much irrelevant. So
yeah, putting out 2-day-old information that we still were speculating about.
Right, because on Friday morning, everybody's going to be like, oh, well, this is our final roster, or at least the diehards.
This is our first season. This is our first season doing this, so we haven't even...
Yeah, we haven't even had the podcast with a game. So
no, which is pretty cool, man. I'm proud of you. Good job.
You're doing a good job too, man. Like this would have been so hard to do alone. I'm so glad you messaged me.
Hell yeah, I'm glad I did too, man. I mean, look at.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at this.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they could see, but
blow it up. Here, hold on.
Here, I'll blow it up. That's what it looks like for the tag.
I like it. It's comfy, man.
Yeah. But I think that's where we're gonna wrap up for today.
So close to my face. Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. But like we said, man, it's the last day camp. Cuts are tomorrow. will definitely be posting the transactions tomorrow. Those will be getting shared.
9 days, man.
Yep.
We've been waiting too long.
Maybe I'll if Thorne has this roster doc updated tomorrow night, I'll screenshot it and get the roster doc posted for Michigan.
Maybe we should ask Nick.
Yeah, I mean, he did post a link publicly, so I will run it by him.
I mean, we could tag him in it, I guess.
Yeah,
just trying to give everybody their flowers, you know.
Yep.
But his heart. Remember the first time we saw that, we were like, dude, this guy's a mad genius.
I am frozen. My stuff's glitching out.
So there you go. You're back on time now. Just in time to close this out.
But yeah, merch link, FIVO ticket group event, tailgates coming up. We got other things we're working on behind the scenes. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, Jesse, besides get your tickets, guys.
Yes.
Come see us at games. If you catch us at a game, I'm going to have a pocket full of stickers. I know Jesse's going to have a pocket full too. Come get some stickers.
Big pocket.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and we are at 132 subscribers, so we are getting there, man.
28 more and we can give away these tickets.
Wait, 28
or 18?
There you go.
18. Jeez, it's been a long day. Been up since 4 a.m.
I feel you, man.
And it's currently 7:51.
Yeah, we are live.
We are live. There's 5 people watching us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Like, share, subscribe. I can't get over that enough. You know, it's the YouTube thing. You guys know how it goes. Share us. Get us out to more people. And as always, Panther fans, remember, let's hunt.